Hi guys. Today let's play a bit with our friend the Wolverine. It's been a while since we played with him a bit, so let's get started. I guess we could start with the vault. Oh,
Welcome, welcome, one and all, to Joker's Rumor 1 Main Crisis. Someone attacking your opponents, or just some useless crap.
I guess I'll get the kids table. I pretty much get it every time. Well, maybe not.
And get your prizes.
Whenever I get it, like I see a purple item, and then I'm all excited. Ooh, I got a rare item, or so you would think, and then it turns out to be the kids table. But not today, it seems.
That's it. Game's over. Step along, nothing to
Ooh,
see.
maybe some. Oh yeah, some new
One
pants.
good move wears off.
The fabled
Happy?
sharpshooter pants. So let's get started with some Green Lanterns. As you can see, I'm still tier 5, fairly close to tier 6, but not there yet. I'll need
Difference between Kilowog and a 10-ton
at least a few
Lighthouse
pieces.
about 3 pounds. Don't tell him I said that.
I guess our next piece will be probably the pants. Oh, I did those already. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh yeah, it's true, reset is tomorrow. Oh well, we'll go to the Gotham Wasteland.
I gotta say, I envy you for getting to kick all those cultist butts. It's a right bloody mess out there. The cult of Wrath is what
It's repulsive. Jacob's forces are cultivating scores of lust energy from their
I'm not sure how
followers.
many missions I'll actually need.
And Wonder Woman will contact you.
1 out of 5. Oh, yeah. So I guess I could do the duo. I just won't get the bonus boss, which is okay, I suppose. Oh, which reminds me, I probably should. There we go. Since it's been a while, just as a reminder, essentially I have my DPS loadout, my controller loadout, and I have two DPSs for PvP. I have one DPS for Arena, one DPS for the open world. Although at this stage, it's pretty much the same gear as my DPS gear. Uh, Although for the DPS arena, like for the DPS open world, essentially have it's the same as my DPS normal, but eventually it should be a PvP gear. But for my DPS arena, essentially it has the sorter cola for the arena and the breakout trinket for the arena as well. So that's right now that's the main distinction. But eventually my open gear and the arena gear should be different. But I didn't do much PvP lately. I guess I didn't really feel like it, I suppose. But I should probably at some point probably do some PvP and also show some videos of how what people can expect from PvP in terms of content and difficulty and well, also what to expect from other players, I suppose. So I guess it could help educate the people who never played PvP into what to expect.
I want to go home. But where do I go from here? To go home.
Those that you freed will be returned to their homes. Unfortunately, some of the abducted were already selected to join Jacob's descent.
Also, just as a refresher, essentially this is a loadout a bit different than, let's say, my Batman gadget character, even though both use gadget. Uh, Essentially, I try to use different loadouts with different characters. I'll get it someday. Uh, Essentially, I try to use different loadouts for different characters, which is part of why I try to use themed characters so that it gives me a reason to give them different loadouts. Otherwise, it would be too easy to fall into the trap of having, let's say, multiple gadget characters and each one of them being pretty much a carbon copy of the others. So in this case, what I've centered this loadout around is pretty much the distract paralyzing dart combo. So essentially, I will go with a battle display, which will start my battle awareness. But I don't really care about that much all that much about that. But it's essentially the battle awareness works with distract, and it also works with paralyzing dart. So and then I go with distract. And essentially, the reason why I go with distract is that paralyzing dart. If you look into the power interaction, it'll tell you that it does heavy damage if it's used immediately after unstealthing. Distract is one of the ways it works, as it says in the description. Or also stealth itself. So let's say I would go into stealth mode. Now I would let's say use the battle display, then I would say use the grenade, and then I would use the paralyzing dart. So that would work as well. It also works with some power interactions, but I never really bothered with that. Technically, this works more than fine. Like you saw, it pretty much just one dart pretty much decimated the health of the enemies. So and if somehow the dart is on cooldown, I go into stealth battle mode, the grenade, and then the darts again, and it works quite as well. I've made a video about how you can have essentially also a different loadout on your stealth loadout. So that would be, I guess, an example of that. Like essentially, I can use my stealth loadout to be able to use to have extra damage with a paralyzing dart. And if you're wondering why I'm attacking this poor little imp who did nothing to me, it's because in the past he did piss me off. I hate those imps. So once in a while, I'll be if you see me beating the crap out of one imp, for no apparent reason. It's just payback from when they were torturing me the very first time I came to the wasteland, and I was a poor little mutant. Combat rating, I think I was 83 the first time I was in here, and those mean imps were beating the snot out of me at the time. So now it's payback. You'll probably have realized by now I'm not always I'm not very goal oriented or goal mission focused, I suppose, or mission oriented. Sometimes I'll do things that have no real benefit, like beating up an imp, or I'll do things just for fun. So sometimes I'll fight some enemies even if I don't need to, if even if it has no doesn't matter for the mission I'm doing. Sometimes I'll go out of my way to do fun stuff, even if technically I don't really need to. And anyway, those imps had it coming. They deserve it. But it's just when I started doing these missions, the first time I was here was with my Magneto character, and then a bit later with my Phantom character. And holy crap, whenever I was trying to do missions, I kept on attracting that, like I was fighting a couple of enemies, and then one or two imps would jump into the fight and beat the snot out of poor little me.
The forces of Envy are abducting
So when I so once in a while
They are then
I'll beat the snot out of some imps as retribution, I suppose.
They send the abducted citizens
Oh, I did do this one the other day. Okay.
destroy those torture devices.
So this should be envy everywhere.
The forces of Envy are abducting citizens from
Minus the portal ones.
They are then torturing
Not my favorite, but what can you do?
redirect those portals so that they send the abducted citizens to our garrison and destroy those torture devices.
So let's get started. As you saw, I pretty much decimated one of the demon on the spot. And as I mentioned, the freaking little imps who jump into the fight as you're fighting someone else. It's not as much a deal, and let's kick him. Oh yeah, kicking them is satisfying as well. Essentially, right now it's not a big deal, but when I first was here, holy crap! Already fighting those guys was I was like combat rating 83. I didn't really know the missions all that well. Weapon mastery didn't exist at the time. Also, advanced mechanic didn't exist at the time either. And I went in the wrong order. That happens. And I targeted the wrong one. As you've noticed, you don't always have to use the darts as a combo. You can on its own. On its own, it's a good crowd control, as you see. But if it's used in combo with distract, it's pretty powerful. Let's try it again. As you see, I pretty much one-shotted both the demons. Almost. Okay, that was part one. Now let's do the stones. Let's do the imp first. Because it's pretty sure that he's going to jump me while I'm going to fight the other demons as they're going to spawn. So I may as well get rid of the imp at first. I'm not sure why I cannot kick him, it seems. Oh well. Can't have fun all the time, I suppose. I don't use my weapon mastery all that much for some reason. I guess I don't feel like really need to. But I probably should use it a bit more. Well, we'll see. And one last one. There. Freaking imp. Oh, let's summon our friends, because why not? You saw the combo took a pretty good chunk out of the Master of Misery's elf pool.
Good work. That should hinder their progress. Head back to camp soon.
Come on. So the last one will be Wrath reduced. After that, I probably could do some duos. Essentially, I only have 18 marks of victory, so I'm far from being able to buy some gear. The next gear I would buy would be either the headpiece or maybe the boots. Nah, the headpiece. I guess the headpiece would be or some rings. So ideally, right now, the goal would be to raise my combat rating up to tier 6 so that I can do tier 6 missions.
More wrath energy. Jared's
And obviously,
victims beyond their
so I can start buying tier 6 gear.
find them and help them before they become as berserk as everyone else.
I don't know if you noticed the difference. Like, essentially, I pretty much killed everyone with my when I used the paralyzing dart the first time, as opposed to now I barely did a small dent in their health pool. It's that much of a difference that it makes when I use a combo or not. Again, as you saw, they were left with just a bit of a sliver of health. So the good thing also is that compared to essentially the other combo I use with let's say my Batman character is the EMP one. Essentially, it's pretty much the same kind of thing, except that instead of using distract and paralyzing dart, I'll use distract and EMP. But for that, essentially the EMP targets every opponents around me, as opposed to in here it's a range attack. So pretty much anyone in the area of impact where I throw my attack will take lots of damage, as opposed where the EMP would do a lot of damage around my character. So with the EMP combo, you pretty much have to jump into the fray and then activate your combo, as opposed to with the paralyzing dart. You can stay safe away from trouble and just use the combo. Again, if you saw, the attack barely did a bit of damage to the demon. So there's quite a difference between when you use the combo or not. But for that to actually work, your opponents have to be pretty much in the same area, and also you have to do it again. As soon as you do distract, you have to then use a paralyzing dart. If you wait a bit, like I just did, it's not going to work. So it really has to be like a 1-2 punch combo in order to do a good chunk of damage. Otherwise, it'll be like a love tap.
Situation well. There's a greater demon in charge of the cages. Find him and stop him from brutalizing those people.
Of course, against tougher enemies and like bosses, it won't kill them in one shot. It'll take a few tries. But it still does a fairly good amount of damage. It's just that the bosses have so much health that there's no way you're going to one-shot them the way you do the mobs, unless your CR is much higher than theirs.
Thank you again for your help.
I was recruited with a promise of fighting evil. But instead I'm selling colas.
So we could do some of the duos in order to maybe get some gears, although the drops aren't very good in this DLC. The good drops are the ones you get either from the bonus bosses, well, which isn't really drops, but the good rewards, I should say, not drops. The good rewards is pretty much from the extra bosses, or maybe from the alert. The alert maybe gives some somewhat good drops. But ideally, what you want to do is you want to do the bonus bosses, and make sure to get a piece of, I think it's 85 combat rating gear, or is it 90? No, the 90 gear is the gear you purchase. The 85 gear is the gear you get from the bonus boss. So without the bonus boss, the duos are pretty much worth only the marks you get from them, which is nothing to sneeze at. Let's try it out. Let's try a couple of duos. Let's cure for them all and see which one will pop first. The cathedral. That's pretty much. The cathedral is pretty much the best one of the three. Although some people do get lost in the cathedral, not as much as in the labyrinth, and it's not as much of a nightmare as the Knight's Dome. The Knight's Dome, if you're there with a bad partner, if the partner decides to aggro every single mob in the arena, holy crap, it can quickly turn into a nightmare. The cathedral is much more forgiving if you have a bad partner. And at this point, I pretty much probably can do it solo. Maybe next time I'll try it solo just because. So for Simon, I'm going to summon my friend, the Tombot, and I'm going to save my sidekick for when I'm going to, not my sidekick, my backup for when I'm going to. Essentially, at some point, we have to fight like 3 waves of enemies. I'm going to save my backups for that. So let's see if our friend will want to stick together or not. I'll go straight. Pretty much can handle whatever those fellas can throw at me. So here we're going to summon our friend, or our friends, should I say? I guess I remember now why I don't really use Weapon Mastery all that much. I can't say it. I find it that effective. Oh, that didn't do much damage at all. Like, essentially, the Weapon Mastery this year doesn't do all that much damage, even if I activate my DPS buff. And the other one, it seems to work a bit against enemies that surround you, but not that much. I guess I'm not targeting him. Let's go get the stone before our friend is dead. Will I reach him in time? actually did more damage than I expected. Ah, come on. Don't you love it when your partner is standing in the doorway blocking it?
What? How do you get past my guards? My barriers? You will pay. I won't destroy just you. When I have my father's power, I will destroy everything you've ever loved.
So, have you read my screenplay yet?
And it was nice. Let's give a little victory thumbs up, and I guess we can leave. If there was the bonus boss, I would have stick around to help our friend, but no real need to, since there's no boss.
Base model when you can have upgrades.
And of course tank, but it's anyway it's 83 gear. I pretty much have better than that right now, or at least as good. So no thumbs up for our friend. Let's give him a little bow anyway, because why not? He did fine.
Sorry, I'm closed for business.
So let's repair a bit. Let us sell a bit. Whenever you do a mission and things go smooth, there's no real reason to complain. Sure, it would be easy to complain when let's say the other guy maybe doesn't quite do the proper strategy or doesn't quite help you sometimes. But here, the guy did fine. I complained one time that he was blocking the door, but it's not his fault. He just didn't. He was attacking and didn't realize probably that I could get through the door. So it's okay. It's not a big deal. I guess that's going to be it for now with our friend the Wolverine. So ideally with this guy, the goal would be to try and get our mission, to try and do our solo missions until we can get the bonus boss from these missions. And once we can get the bonus boss, obviously we'll get the exalted reward box. But it means 3 more missions. Although we could probably, well, let's try. Let's see if we can do Trigon, because why not? If we're in a good group, well, we should be okay. I guess no Trigon today. I might as well. We'll do it We'll do it maybe tomorrow. So that's it for now, guys. So unless the mission pops up right now, we're gonna call it quits, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.